Hi there everyone, this is Laura here from Laura's Creative Pages and Cards. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm bringing you a 4-part series with regards to there's a pile of sketches in our annual catalogue found on page 22. So there's 22 sketches of cards on page 22 and this right here is part 1, so I'm doing cards 1 through to 6. So basically what I've done is I've taken them and drawn up the sketches and I've put sizes to the pictures. So this series is just a very quick, easy one. I'm not actually going to be making the cards with you. I'm just going to demonstrate them and the cut sizes that I've done and give you some hints and tips. Okay, so this is the first sketch here, sketch 1. So I will just bring it up and show you. So I've just drawn a rough guide and the sizes that I have here is the first one is A, and that is 3 by 3 1/4. B, which is the one underneath, is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And with C, you want it at least 2 1/2 inches long, but the height can change dependent on the sentiment that you're placing within that one. But you want it at least 2 1/2 inches long. So that is card number 1. So here it is created. So with this one, what I did was I just stuck the first piece on, which is B, flush with just some tape, some double-sided tape. And then with the second size, I made sure to attach that one with a little bit of 3D foam tape to give it a little bit of lift. And then I've stuck this sentiment on again with 3D tape as well, and I've raised it up. Now, all of these cards that I'm sharing with you, all have been made with the Country Woods paper, designer series paper, which is 12 inches by 12 inches. So every card that I share through this series is made with the Country Wood, and every single one of the elements on it comes from the Country Flowers. So the Country Flowers has got a fantastic range of dies as well as a coordinating stamp set. And what I love about it is there's just so many extra elements that are within the dies that are not found in the stamp set, all the extra flowers and leaves. So all of these flowers and leaves that on card number 1 were also cut from the Country Wood paper. So I haven't added any extra cardstock onto this at all. And all of the cards are made in A2 format. So they're 5 1/2 tall by 4 1/4 wide. And that's going to be all 22 cards. So that's card number 1. Nice and simple. And just before I move on, I'm just going to show you card number 1 in a different color scheme. This one's full of life, just so you can see that you can take that sketch and use anything on that. And with this one here, I just put the sentiment over on the other side this time, just for something a little bit different. Okay, card number 2. So card number 2, once you've got your sketch, it's just 2 pieces here, an A, which is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and B, you want it approximately 3 inches long by 3/4 in height. And that's just an approximate. You obviously not really want to go over the width here of 3 1/2, so 3 is what you'd probably want to stick to. So here's the sample of that second card. So like I said, this panel here is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Now for this piece here, which is roughly 3 inches long, what I used was I actually used one of our Stampin' Up punches, and as you can see, the width of that punch is a lot more narrow than what's on the front here. So I'm going to just show you what I did. What I did was I just grabbed the piece of decorative paper that I was using. I'm just going to do my sample here in white, and I punched it out. So as you can see, that there is the actual width. And then what I did was I actually just cut it into 2 pieces, and I attached each piece to my card, and then I put that design element over the entire gap. So that design element is hiding the gap that I created with that punch. And you could do that with any punch that you have available in your crafting stash. So I've got this lovely oval here, and you could do the exact same thing. So if you're ever wanting to design something and you want something a little bit different, you can just cut that in half, add it to your piece of art, and then just hide that gap there with a different decorative element. So that's just a handy little tip there. And then I use this beautiful twine just to decorate the background of it. And again, I've cut all of the elements out of the Country Wood paper. Again, no cardstock on this, simply created all with paper. Okay, sketch number 3. So sketch number 3 here has 3 strips and a circle. Those strips are all cut the same, 1 by 4.5, and the circle is a 2 1/4 inch circle. Now I actually chose, I've still stuck to that sketch, but I have chosen to add a mat of 5 1/4 by 4, and the reason why I've done that is because that mat there allows me to add the twine over all 3 of the elements and that cardstock front, that matting, before attaching it to my card front. So I've still got a card that opens this way. If you're creating from cardstock a card that is more of an easel, then you could just wrap the twine over the whole card front, but I've decided to go with this option. So if it's an option that you like, then it will work really well. Plus I got to add that little bit of ink blending on that matting before attaching it to the card front, just for a little bit of pointer interest. So again, if you missed those sizes, let me just bring that in again. So A, B and C could all be the same colour, or 3 separate colours as I did, and they are all 1 by 4.5, and then that circle was a 2 1/4 inch, and I chose to add a mat of 5 1/4 by 4, and as you can see, that's turned out absolutely beautifully. And I cut the decorative circle there from the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I've cut those flowers and leaves from the Country Woods using the Country Flowers die cuts. Okay, number 4 sketch. I hope these sizes do assist you and give you more confidence to jump in there and try it. This one's a really fast and easy one with only 3 pieces. So we have here A, 3.5 by 5, and then B and C are identical at 3 by 7/8. And so this is that card design here. So I've got just those 3 pieces, and then I just added a beautiful decorative element over the top of those 2, and then my sentiment. So that's a very easy card to create over and over, and I chose to just use black pen to just outline the edge of my card for that one there. So nice and simple, but very effective, that particular sketch. Okay, sketch number 5. This one was a bit of a challenge for me, having things on the angle and all sorts, but this is the size that I've come up with that I was happy with. A is 5 by 3 1/4, and then you will need to dovetail it. B, 3 3/4 by 3, and C, 2 by 1. And then this is how it's turned out, and it's turned out fabulously. And then I've just added that little bit of a decorative element onto that very large, 3 3/4 by 3 panel. Again, it's all cut from the Country Woods paper, and I've just added that little bit of decorativeness with my black journal pen. Okay, so that was very simple, that one there. And then sketch number 6, the last one here that you'll find, is A, B and C are all cut identically again, so 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. So the 2 3/4 being the width by 1 3/4. And then D, you want to have a maximum of a 2-inch circle. So I'll just bring that one in here. Okay, and I did choose to put a mat on this one as well because I wanted to have an embossed background. So that mat was cut at 5 1/4 by 4 as well. Okay, so that's completely optional. You don't actually have to have that in the background, but as you can see, I just wanted to add that little bit of texture to the back. So with the circle, the 2 inches, the blue, and then I've just cut that lighter color wood panel at 1 3/4 to stamp the sentiment on. So, but you can see a 2-inch circle is a really great size, and then you can still add on a decorative element. The decorative element could be in the circle, and then you could just add on a sentiment, so you could reverse what I've done. But this one came out absolutely stunning. I'm really, really happy with that sketch. So that's all 6 sketches, all using the Country Wood paper and the Country Flowers stamp set and dies. And they are making for such a beautiful collection of cards. And I can't wait to show you the rest as I slowly build them up till I have had done all 22. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy creating those sketches. Bye!